You know what her pain is. Because the only reason a person would behave in this manner.
We're not going to throw this behavior word around again. We're not going to do that. She does not have a behavior problem, and that's not fair.
First of all, your finger in my face is not going to work for me.
But the name calling is not going to work for me.
I haven't called you a name.
You said behavior problem.
I did not say behavior problem. Here's what I said.
Behavior. What does that mean?
You are disruptive. You are abusive, Tamar.
Really?
You are violent, Tamar. No one can say anything.
And you're just condescending and hypocritical. That is wrong.
Nobody.
You cannot just throw out names like that.
I'm real clear about what I'm experiencing.
I'm very clear about my experience as well.
Okay, but I have a right to my experience.
And I have a right to detest your experience.
No, you don't.
Yes, I do.
My experience is my experience.
Because you haven't had a conversation with me. All you do is talk over people. So how you want to tell me how I'm talking to other people and you talking over me?
But y'all have allowed this to go on.
Watch it.
You have allowed this behavior in your environment.
What you're not going to do is throw these names around.
You have allowed this behavior in your environment. So now it's accommodated, it's been tolerated. So anything that challenges it becomes the problem. This is abusive. I don't understand that.
Iana, this is the problem that has been progressive throughout all of our relationship, is that Tamar is allowed to voice however she feels. If the other sister said something that was out the way, they got chastised for it.
Punished
yes.
Or disciplined, okay.
Yes, but not Tamar.
Why not Tamar?
Because of my passive actions.
Or is it because you felt guilty because you weren't there? You were there, but not there. You withdrew.
Yes.
And is it possible that that's what her hurt is?
Tamar, I'm asking you, is that the reason why you feel the way you do now?
You was not physically present at all. You left at 6 o'clock in the morning, came home at 12 a.m.
Every day? I'm asking, that every day? That was every
Majority
day?
of my childhood.
Wow.
And where were they?
They were gone. They were out of the house.
Did they leave you? You ended up in the house alone. Now, have you ever considered or acknowledged the impact that all of y'all left her?
I'm 2.5 years older than Tamar. The age disparity is not so vast.
Right. You left her.
No, Miss Iyanla, I don't receive or accept that.
Well,
and
listen,
I'm gonna tell you why.
But her experience is what I'm talking about. Have you ever considered that?
Now I understand why. Because she's angry. She's angry. I'm just getting it.
Because you've had the experience. Make sense?
Makes sense.
She didn't feel seen or heard because everybody left. Because the only reason a person would fight so much to be seen is if they weren't seen.
Girl.
The reason they would fight so much to be heard is if they don't felt they were heard. What do you want to say about that, Tamar?
You really gonna quit with this name calling? I'm not here for that.
Which name calling are you hearing?
I now want to be seen. You really gotta watch your mouth. Like, what are you talking? Who talks to me like that? Who talks to anybody like that? I ain't talking to you like that. You want to be seen, but now you're being abusive because you're cutting me off.
I love
now
you.
your attitude is abusive. You're abusive, sis.
All day. You know what? I'm sharing my experience.
Stay out of my comments, sis.
I'm not your sister. I am 2 years younger than your mother. I got underwear older than you.
I hope you ain't got them, because that's nasty.
I do have them. And they're clean.
I can't take this. How you gonna tell me how to act if you're acting the exact same way?
No, I'm not, Tamar.
You're being abusive, you're cutting me off.
If we want to have an honest conversation about why some Black women go through life, and we're gonna get into, because I saw some things in the comment section, we'll get into what I mean specifically about being invisible, because I think this is not something about people not seeing me or seeing us as Black women. This is about how we don't see ourselves, okay? But before we can even go there, going to the foundation, we have to acknowledge the presence of Black men, the importance of Black men. Yes, people are going to say I'm pandering. Yes, you're going to say I'm male-centered and male-identified, and I just need to decenter men. That is what the internet is going to say. That's going to solve all my problems. And I'm here to tell you that it won't. Because my life is an example of it not solving my problem. Being, away from men, somehow decentering them, never solved anything. And in fact, my thesis and hypothesis for the purpose of this video essay is that me having that major distance from, mind you, healthy men, because I'm not talking about just being around any old man who's toxic. No, we're talking about good men. I'm talking about healthy men. The lack of that in my life, I would say contributed, because there's multiple things, contributed to this invisible feeling. And I don't think that I'm unique in this way. I think this is something that other women, not all women will frame it the way I'm framing it. So not all women are going to say that I feel invisible. And shout out to somebody in the comments who talked about desperate energy. I love that. He said, I forgot how it was framed, but essentially sometimes women who have some of the struggles that I'm going to be talking about exude desperate energy. And yes, I agree with that. But again, it's not, I don't want it to be about desperate energy only. I want to be about, okay, what caused the desperate energy? What are the underlying factors? What was the first time you felt desperate? Okay, let's go back. Let's see how far to the root we can go. That's what I want to do as much as possible with the Invisible Black Woman series. I believe there's a correlation between being or feeling invisible as a grown woman, as a young woman, however you identify. There's a correlation between feeling invisible and the men that were or were not in your life and your connection to said men. You having little to no access to men, how they think, how they feel, who, what they do, what their purpose is. You having little to no access to that can and oftentimes does create a severe void. So what I'm doing now is I'm setting the foundation for the Invisible Black Woman. If you haven't seen my last video, you should watch that first. Here's an example. I like to use my examples. I used to watch My 600 Pound Life. And for those of you who watch the show, on there, you see them eating 15 cheeseburgers and, eating breakfast at dinner time, 20 pancakes or, whatever. And we see that and we're like, oh my goodness, how could, these people do this to their body? Like, it's so gluttonous and disgusting. And what happens is that there's always a part in the show where they go back to their childhood. Okay? They go back to their childhood, and you see that the majority of these people, I would probably say 95% of folks who end up on My 600 Pound Life have been sexually abused, SA'd. Okay? So then you see that, they're not just eating 15 cheeseburgers because they, are not smart, or they just really don't care. Perhaps they don't care, but they don't care because something happened to them that cause them to not care about their body, because whatever they learned in their experience of going through SA, they learned that maybe their body is not valuable, or it's something that they want to cover up. They don't want to be attractive to men or to the opposite sex, and so they put on these layers. We all discover that there's a why. It's not people just doing things because they don't have anything else to do, but it's people reacting to things that happen in their life, and that is why. So why I say that, I believe that most things work like that. Maybe not all things, but most things. And in many cases, there's a why, there's a reason. There's usually something a lot deeper that's going on. And what happens on social media, right here on YouTube, on TikTok, everywhere, and in the media at large, what happens is that what gets prioritized and what people want to talk about is kind of like the surface level. Somebody's eating 15 cheeseburgers, for example, and not the reason why. Why are they eating these cheeseburgers? Why don't they care about their weight and their health? What is causing them to do that? And sort of that deeper foundational layer never really gets addressed, because everybody is just into sort of the glitz and the glam, and the, not even glitz and the glam, but like the sensationalized view of them eating all these cheeseburgers. I mean, it's like, it's so drama filled, and it's, that's what we want to see. It's like, oh, it's juicy. It's like, yeah, let's gossip about this. Let's talk about this. Let's talk about what's going on the surface and not those deeper layers. So what I want to do, particularly in the Invisible Black Woman series, is get to some of the deeper layers. So stay tuned as it's getting dark now. And you guys are going to see me showing up super comfortable. I've been making videos now for 3 years, so I'm just to the point where I'm like, you know what? I'm just going to turn my camera on and start talking. So stay tuned for more.